Story number 3. Never trust your GPS in Cascade Range after equipment failures. Technology fails in the wilderness. Batteries die. Screens crack. Satellites lose signal in heavy tree cover. That's normal. Expected. Why rangers carry paper maps and compasses as backup. Why we teach navigation fundamentals to every hiker we meet. But there's a different kind of failure. One that's not mechanical or environmental. When your GPS shows full battery, clear signal, perfect satellite lock, but starts leading you to places that don't exist on any map. When it recalculates routes that take you deeper into unmapped terrain. When waypoints appear that you never set. Coordinates that lead to nowhere you should go. That's not equipment failure. That's interference. Something manipulating your technology. Something that wants you lost. And once you trust a corrupted GPS, technology won't save you. It becomes a weapon used against you. My name is Jennifer Stormcloud, and I'm a wilderness ranger for North Cascades National Park in Washington. My grandmother was Nooksack, and she taught me about the basket woman, entities that lure travelers off paths, confuse their direction sense, lead them in circles until they're hopelessly lost. Modern people trust in machines more than their senses, she'd say. So the entities learn to speak through machines. Your compass points wrong. Your GPS shows false trails. And you follow, trusting technology over instinct until you're exactly where they want you. August 2024. Peak summer hiking season. I was investigating reports of GPS anomalies on the Cascade Pass Trail. Coordinates 48.4756 degrees north, 121.0736 degrees west. Over the past month, 17 hikers have reported their GPS units malfunctioning in specific areas, showing trails that didn't exist, waypoints they hadn't set, coordinates that didn't match their paper maps. Most had ignored the discrepancies, trusted their paper maps instead. But 3 hikers had followed their GPS units despite the contradictions. All 3 went missing. All 3 were experienced, well-equipped, had emergency beacons, and all 3 vanished in areas where their GPS units had shown trail that wasn't on any official map. I was hiking with a partner. Standard protocol for this investigation. Jake Tahoma, a ranger with 15 years experience and Nooksack heritage like mine. We carried multiple GPS units, paper maps, traditional compasses, and radio equipment. We were testing the reports, trying to replicate the anomalies. At mile 4.2, my GPS flickered, then recalculated, showed a trail junction that wasn't on my paper map, a path leading northeast into an area marked as impassable terrain, too steep, too dense. But the GPS showed it clearly, marked as alternate route to Cascade Pass, 2.1 miles, elevation gained 400 feet. Jake, you seeing this? I showed him my screen. He checked his unit. Negative. My GPS shows no junction here. You're looking at a phantom trail, but it's showing full signal. Clear satellite lock. This isn't a glitch. It's showing a deliberate route. I pulled out my paper map. Nothing. Just a main trail, continuing west toward Cascade Pass. No junction. No alternate route. But my GPS insisted it was there. Even showed reviews. Beautiful shortcut. Saves an hour. Well-maintained. Highly recommended. Reviews. On a GPS unit. That's not how navigation systems work. We need to investigate, I said. Mark this location. If hikers are seeing these phantom trails and following them, we need to understand what's actually there. Jake radioed our position and intentioned the base. We cached our main packs, took only day gear, and followed the GPS's phantom trail. For the first 100 yards, there was actually a path, faint, overgrown, but clearly an old trail that had been decommissioned or abandoned. My GPS showed confident directions. Continue 0.3 miles. Trail curves left. And it did curve left, exactly as the GPS predicted. But Jake's unit still showed nothing. And our paper maps insisted we were walking through impassable forest. This trail exists, I said. It's real, but it's not on any current map. Old logging road, maybe? Jake suggested. From before the area was protected? We continued. My GPS kept updating. Continue 0.8 miles. Elevation gained 200 feet, and the path continued, becoming clearer, better maintained as we went deeper, like it was used regularly despite not being on any official map. At mile 1.3, according to my GPS, we found the first marker, a cairn, but wrong. The stones were arranged in patterns that weren't natural trail marking. My grandmother's patterns. Nooksack symbols for boundary and warning and turn back. Jake, these stones. I see them. His voice was tense. My grandmother built cairns like this. They're not trail markers. They're barriers. Spiritual boundaries. My GPS recalculated. Destination ahead 0.4 miles. Estimated arrival 12 minutes. But what destination? I hadn't set one. The unit was navigating to somewhere I hadn't programmed. Somewhere it wanted me to go. We should turn back, Jake said. Mark this location, report the Phantom Trail, and bring a full team. Agreed. Let's. My GPS beeped, loudly, then showed a message I'd never seen before. Warning! You are leaving designated trail. Return to marked path immediately. Except we were on a path. A clear, well-maintained path that the GPS itself had led us to. Then Jake's GPS activated. His unit, which had shown nothing before, suddenly lit up, showed the same trail, the same destination marker, the same warning about leaving the designated path. We're being herded, Jake said. Whatever's manipulating the GPS is coordinating. It stayed hidden from my unit until I got deep enough, then activated to keep me from leaving. I tried a radio base. Static, complete interference despite being in an area with good line of sight. My phone, full signal bars, but couldn't connect calls. Jake's same problem. All our electronics showing connectivity, but unable to actually communicate. Follow the cairns backward, Jake said. Use the Nooksack markers to navigate out, not the GPS. We turned around, started following the warning cairns back the way we came. And that's when the GPS units got aggressive. Both units started beeping. Constant alerts. Return to trail. You are going the wrong direction. Recommended route ahead. Turn around for optimal path. The beeping got louder, more insistent, and the screen started showing things that weren't possible. My GPS displayed my current location as somewhere I'd never been. Coordinates that placed me 200 miles away. Then it showed terrain that didn't match anything around us. Cliffs where there were trees, water where there was land. Then it started showing people. Dots on the screen, representing human positions. Dozens of them, all around us. All marked as hiker or camper or ranger. But there was no one else here. We were alone in the forest. The dots were false. Lures. Suggestions that we weren't alone. That following the GPS would lead us to other people, to safety. Jake threw his GPS into his pack, muted it. Don't look at the screen. Don't listen to it. Follow the cairns with your eyes only. I did the same. Focused on the stone markers. They led us back exactly the way we'd come, each cairn positioned to be visible from the next. My grandmother's people had marked this boundary carefully, thoroughly, knowing that technology might someday be used to confuse travelers. We walked for 40 minutes. The GPS units in our packs kept beeping, muted but persistent, vibrating, trying to get our attention. And then we heard voices. Help! Over here! We're lost! Coming from the direction the GPS had wanted us to go. Multiple voices, men and women, calling for help. But Jake grabbed my arm. Don't respond. Listen to the voices carefully. I did, and realized they were using names. Our names. Jake, Jennifer, thank God. We saw you on our GPS. Help us find the trail. We'd never identified ourselves in that forest. No one should know our names. But the voices did, because they weren't real voices. They were generated, artificial, lures using our own names to make us think other hikers had seen us on their GPS units and needed help. We kept following the cairns. The voices got more desperate, more insistent. Closer. Why won't you help us? We can see you on our GPS. You're right there. Please. Then the voices changed tactics, became threatening. You're leaving us to die. We know where you are. We have your coordinates. When we get out, we're reporting you. Still we walked, following the stone markers. And finally, we crossed back over a threshold we couldn't see, but could feel a pressure change, a temperature shift, and immediately our radios worked again. Base, this is Tahoma. We're back on the main trail. Encountered significant GPS corruption and false trail markers, requesting immediate extraction and equipment analysis. We made it back to the trailhead 3 hours later, turned in our GPS units for analysis. The tech team's findings were disturbing. Both units had been remotely accessed by something. The firmware had been modified to display false trails, false terrain, false human positions. But the modifications weren't from any known software. The code was written in patterns that didn't match any programming language in their database. And the units had recorded our path, stored coordinates showing exactly where we'd walked. But overlaid on that true path was a recommended route that would have taken us 4 miles deeper into unmapped terrain, to coordinates that showed a clearing that didn't exist on satellite imagery, a destination our units had been trying to lead us toward. The 3 missing hikers, their last GPS coordinates, pulled from their emergency beacons before those failed, showed they'd reached that exact destination, the Phantom Clearing, and stopped transmitting. Search teams went to those coordinates, found nothing, no clearing, no structures, just dense forest. But the trees showed marks, scratch marks at about 7 feet high, symbols carved into bark, and dozens of GPS units, hanging from branches, all still active, all showing false trails, all broadcasting phantom routes to lead more hikers to that location. The units were from hikers who'd gone missing over the past decade. All had followed GPS routes that didn't match their maps. All had trusted technology over their instincts. And all had ended up at the Phantom Clearing, where something collected their GPS units and reprogrammed them to lure more victims. We don't know what's at that location. What entity or consciousness can manipulate GPS satellites, rewrite firmware, generate false voices using hikers' names. But we know it's intelligent, patient, and it's learned that modern hikers trust their GPS units more than their senses. The 3 missing hikers were never found. Their GPS units joined the collection hanging from trees, now broadcasting false routes to lead others to the same destination. We've marked that area as a GPS anomaly zone. Warned hikers that electronic navigation is unreliable in specific sectors. But we can't explain why. Can't say an unknown entity is hacking your GPS to lure you to a phantom clearing where you'll disappear and your equipment will be used to trap others. If you hike Cascade Range and your GPS shows trails that aren't on your map, don't follow them. If it displays waypoints you didn't set, don't trust them. If it recalculates routes that lead into unmapped terrain, turn it off, because something in those mountains has learned to speak through technology, has learned that hikers trust GPS more than compasses, satellite data more than paper maps, electronic voices more than their own instincts, and it's using that trust to lead people exactly where it wants them, to destinations that don't exist on maps, to clearings that satellites can't see, to places where GPS units are collected and reprogrammed to lure the next victim. Technology won't save you. In Cascade Range, after equipment failures start, technology becomes the weapon used against you. My grandmother was right. The basket woman learned to speak through machines, and she's very, very good at it. Trust your instincts. Trust your paper maps. Trust your grandmother's cairns. Never trust your GPS after it starts showing you things that shouldn't be there, because by the time you realize the route is false, you're already too deep, already surrounded by phantom trails and artificial voices, already exactly where something wants you, lost, confused, trusting technology to guide you right into its hands.